Well, gone are the days when a Swiss Army knife and a flashlight were your only camping tools. From GPS devices to high-tech headgear, David Johnston's here from Mountain Equipment Co-op to show us the new crop of outdoors stuff. Hey, David, welcome.
Hi.
This is kind of fun for me because I'm a gadget hound, but how much do real outdoors men and women eschew this kind of thing? Do they say this is all, for
Well, I think
tenderfoots?
I think there's a whole school of people who are all who like to poo-poo it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
No.
I mean, I just found out that people don't bring matches. So, but then there's a whole school of people who say, I love the outdoors, but I don't want to give up my creature comforts.
I'm completely at that end of the
Yeah,
spectrum.
me too.
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out how to bring more with me. That's really what my job is.
So let's start with this. This is a wrist top computer.
Yes. It's
So you
certainly
can
not
bring
a
your
watch.
computer with you, and the charger, and the cable. So what do we do with this? This is from Suunto.
Yeah, Suunto. So they really don't like to call it a watch, even though it looks like one. It's a wrist-top computer. So you have all the standard features of a regular watch,
Yeah.
alarms and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But you also have altimeter, barometer.
Oh, I like that.
The key one with this is that it's a built-in GPS unit.
Oh, it's not that big considering it's got a GPS in it.
No.
Is the antenna in here?
Yeah, it's got a small patch antenna built into that.
That's kind of remarkable. They've really gotten smaller.
Yeah.
And so it's got an altimeter, so you know how high you are. It's got a GPS, so you know where you are. Wow, this is really neat.
Yeah, and it's very similar to regular handheld ones. So you can put routes in, you can put waypoints in, you can find your way back to the parking lot.
It won't talk to you, but you can look at it and say where you...
It'll reassure you by text.
Yeah.
You're doing a good job.
And will it show an arrow like a compass would that go this
does,
way and
yeah,
this way? Wow.
yeah.
How much is that?
Around $550 Canadian. Yeah.
So it's not cheap, but on the other hand, giving what you get, will it also record your trip so that so you know where you've been and all
Yeah, so it'll keep track of it. The other thing with it, it's got built-in rechargeable batteries, so you can charge it up when you get home because it does
How
use a
long will
lot
it
of
last?
power. Well, if you use the GPS unit, kind of it's to its most, where it's finding out where you are every second,
Right.
it'll last about 4.5 hours. But you can scale it way down so the GPS running could run almost a full day.
And you could get an auto charger. You wouldn't have to use this. You could get an auto
exactly.
charger so that will charge you up. And then this clip is for your blood pressure, or what is?
Well, because it's watertight, it still has to use a slightly different sensor. So you can just plug it right on to the
that's
unit.
the USB connector.
And that will both
It's
charge
not for
your
my
unit.
thumb. It's for I thought it was some sort of strange heart rate.
Yeah, so you can connect this to the computer. It'll also do your charging with
neat.
that. But
Okay.
you can transfer the information from back and forth to your
So
computer.
if I had my computer with you and it had a better battery,
Exactly.
maybe you could charge it up.
So you could pre-program routes into it at home.
That's kind of
Or
neat.
find out where you've been if you
And
make
weather
a call.
alarms, so if you're up on K2 and a little blow is about to come, it'll let you know.
Yep.
Get down, get down! All right, next we have the Solar Mio 31 pouch.
Yeah.
It's a pouch.
Yes.
What does it do?
Well, it's a solar panel charger. And it's actually a solar power source is kind of the technical
So I could
part
use
of
this
it.
to charge the Suunto.
Exactly. So on the back side of it here has a little power source unit. This plugs into that. So the sun charges this.
And then this becomes a battery that I can use with a USB connector to charge other things.
Yeah. So in theory, what you could do if you're out all day with the Suunto,
Charge it. Yeah.
Charge
At
this
night.
during the day, charge this at night.
Ah, clever.
So-
and will it generate enough power? I mean, it's not a very big panel.
They claim that under full sunlight, it'll take about 4 hours to charge that unit, and that would charge a set of AA batteries type setup in a couple hours.
Typically with these solar things, you don't get a huge amount of power, but it
No.
might be enough to, say, run a radio or whatever.
Yeah.
Or this. This is your flashlight here.
Yeah, so this is a really advanced little piece of gear that I found that's both a strobe and you can use it as a flashlight. So you can just turn the head on it and it will use
That's
it
the
as a strobe.
So that's so if, I don't know, if you wanted somebody to see you for some reason, right?
Exactly.
Here's SOS. So it actually sends an SOS signal, ... dash, 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 ...
The technology in this is really interesting because it's got a microprocessor built right into it. There's no actual physical switch like a regular on-off
It
switch.
has green, too.
Yeah.
What would that be for?
If you need it at night without losing your night vision.
Oh, perfect, of course. And so these are these new LEDs, and they're very bright, but also very low power.
Exactly. If you had the strobe, like kind of a worst case scenario, if you were lost to sea,
Right.
that could strobe for up to 10 days without having to get a battery change.
And this is the floodlight, so this would light a whole campsite.
Yeah,
Wow,
exactly.
that's really neat.
Yeah.
That is a nice. And how much is that?
About 130. This is
That's
the
not
real,
bad.
Yeah.
But if you really needed a good flashlight, see, it also has a mount here. This would be a great hey, a camp lantern's at least
Yeah.
that. So.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, this is, I think, going to be my favorite. This is the Steve Gibson model. Espresso maker. I should have actually asked people what they thought that was, although I think the cup is the giveaway. Look at that. Isn't that cute?
So on the electronic side of it, this is at the low end of the scale, but this can sit on top of your camp stove and cook you some...
Does it make a pretty credible espresso?
Yes, as good as your beans get.
As good as the beans.
Yeah.
Finally, of course, GPS has really transformed camping. Probably more than any single technology. This is
for sure.
really... You don't get lost anymore unless
Nope.
you want to. This is Garmin's eTrex Legend CS X.
So the two step forwards with this is color screen.
Ooh, let me turn it on.
Yeah.
Of course, we won't get a signal here.
No.
But we can at least see the screen.
There it goes.
Ooh, pretty.
And this is their first model with a removable memory chip, so you can
Change the maps.
Yeah, exactly.
And you'd need a computer to do that, obviously. But I would imagine, is there enough memory in here to get like all of North America, or do you have to?
Yeah, it holds 64 megs.
That's quite a
in
bit.
the card.
Yeah.
So it will do all the topos for Canada or the States, for example.
How much is this?
That's around 460 Canadian.
They've really dropped, haven't they?
Yeah.
They've gotten so much more reasonable. This would be good for geocaching too. It's
Exactly.
a handheld device. You could use that to walk around.
Yeah, it's waterproof and submersible as well.
Wow. It says here $321.
No, U.S.
Oh, U.S. U.S. Oh, those old U.S. dollars that get you every time. Wow, that's Garmin, the eTrex. Is this your favorite GPS?
I'm a big fan of it. I think
You like Garmin? Because it's Garmin, there's Magellan, there's
Yeah.
TomTom. There's a lot of companies now in this space.
Yeah, I think the thing why I really like that is the size of it, it's submersible, and the
Oh, you can get it wet.
way that you can just kind of walking your way through the gadgets inside. And
Right.
It's logically laid out.
It's easy to
navigate your
use,
way
and the
through.
waypoints and everything.
Exactly.
You wouldn't use this in a car, though, for turn-by-turn directions.
No, it's a pretty tiny screen for that.
Yeah.
So if you were hiking or
It's a
if you were
hiking-
canoeing or
it's a
something like
handheld
that.
device.
Exactly.
But you don't have to get lost anymore. Isn't that neat? Isn't that great? Now, how are the maps for off-road? I mean, I'm used to road maps, street maps. Are they pretty good for terrain?
They're fairly decent. You're going to get more detail on your computer version of the same thing than that little screen will.
And it depends where you're going, I would imagine, too.
Exactly.
Some areas probably aren't as well mapped as others.
Yeah, like you can get city maps for all of Europe as an example, and it has a lot of information on that. The States, it's very well documented. Canada, not so much, but it's coming along.
You get up in the Yukon or in Australia in the outback, you're probably not going to have as good mapping, but you'll at least know what your coordinates are.
And if you don't use the mapping features for it, it'll tell you where to go and how to get back. Which is a text-based.
Yeah, as long as you know the
version of it.
longitude and latitude of where you're headed, you can at least find your way home. In his spare time, David Johnston is a professional sea kayak instructor. Wow, neat. Also works for Mountain Equipment Co-op, where we found all this great equipment. Read more about it at mec.ca. And for links to all of this camping gear, just visit our show notes, callforhelptv.com. We'll be right back. I got him after this word.